with
Yeah.
which is Megadeth's you know, like club
Well, they do
circuit
secret
name.
shows. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's like when Metallica does secret shows, they list themselves as Damage Inc.
yeah, yeah. I never got lucky to see that, but I've heard of such things happening at BB King's, and but
Yeah.
I saw a lot of cool. I saw a lot of cool like lesser known thrash bands that were like that were really was really good. I think I saw Overkill there
Oh
quite a few
wow.
times. Yeah, Overkill. What before? I guess before they started playing like um, the whatever the hell it is now, Nokia, Best Buy, PlayStation Theater,
Yeah.
whatever conglomerate owns the
I don't even
like
know if it's
buys
even
it.
open anymore.
Yeah, I think they were being sold off to somebody else in 2020, and like I don't know what happened with that.
That's
But
still the
like,
PlayStation Theater, apparently.
oh, okay. So before they went there regularly, and like I guess they had, I don't know if the tours got bigger or the money got bigger or both. They would be at BB King's regularly. I actually had tickets at one point. I saw Exodus there. Um, I saw Destruction there, and Destruction was ridiculous over there. I remember there was one guy
Yeah.
who was like, there was some Spanish dude who was like crying because Crisian was opening, and he was like really happy because I think he was Brazilian.
Oh,
Crisian was pretty good, actually,
yeah.
but I was like, dude, we just saw Destruction. He's like, I am so happy right now, and I was like, okay. I was like, all right, I'll buy you a beer. Come here. um, but yeah, I saw a lot of really great bands over there. There was at one point where I had where like it was right before King Diamond had a heart. He were like um, it was when the Visa. There was like one year, I think it was like 2009. Like every band that like every foreign band had visa problems at the same time that year. So like half of the thrash tours got canceled, and they were all like
Yeah.
huge bands. Like there was one show, it was supposed to be King Diamond and Creator, and it was
Damn.
at BB King's, and I had tickets for that. And like Creator had visa problems, I think, and King Diamond ended up having heart surgery anyway.
Right. Yeah.
And there was an and like later that summer, Tankard was supposed to come,
Oh yeah.
and I had tickets to that show, and that didn't happen because of visa stuff. And I think that year was when Emperor did the comeback tour, and like Samoth had visa problems, so like he couldn't do half of the dates.
Hmm.
Sodom was supposed to. Well, Sodom has visa problems every time that they're like
Yeah.
supposed to come to the U.S., which in that retro, like just like if you always have problems all the time, it's like either you keep forgetting, which I don't think that's the case, or you really just don't want to play in the States for one reason or
Well.
another, which is
That's
probably
like
that.
that was. I think that was the same year that Destruction did their like last tour for a while in the U.S. because that
No, that was
tour,
2010, where like
yeah,
their tour promoter, where like
they screwed them.
yeah,
He
he
like
like
stole the
stole
money.
the money, and they were playing in like more like they were playing in like sea level venues, and they were like,
Yeah,
what the hell is this?
like bars. Yeah,
Yeah,
I saw them. I on that tour. That
they
was
were playing
the
at
show that.
Europa.
Yeah,
I
no,
did.
it wasn't in Europe. They played somewhere in Manhattan. I forget what theater it was, but it was upstairs. Um, and I think they might have played at Europa too. But it was in Manhattan though. It wasn't in Brooklyn.
Webster Hall.
That I said. It wasn't Webster Hall because it was an upstairs venue. It was weird. I don't even remember the name of the theater because it was like so long ago, and it was like a theater I never went back to ever since then.
Huh.
Um, but it was kind of a smaller venue. Like it was small. It wasn't like it was like the size of like BB King's, except only like the floor of BB King's, not like all the restaurant part of it too. Um, and I remember that was the show that literally everyone that we knew was there except you. Like you had to work or something.
No,
But I like
I was dorming upstate at that
Oh yeah, or
point in
that.
time,
No,
and
it was in the summer. I thought. I
yeah,
think.
the day of my, it was like the day before my last final, or the day of my last final.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So like literally everyone in the scene was there except for you.
Yeah, of
Like
course.
every single person we knew. Like people I hadn't seen in like months, were like there like at
Yeah.
that show.
Well, at that point, it was months. Now, forget it. I haven't seen so many people in
Oh yeah.
years.
Yeah, me either. It was yeah. I haven't been to like a show
Well,
besides
besides, nobody
even before
has, but
COVID.
like,
Even before COVID, like before COVID, the last show I saw was Ghost in Trenton, and then before
yeah.
that, I don't even remember. It was like a long time I hadn't seen a show.
The last show that I went to before COVID, I saw King Diamond in October of 2019, and
Yeah.
that was it. Which I'm glad that I got to see. I'm glad that if that was going to be the last show that I would ever see, which hopefully not, I'm glad it was. I'm glad it was that one.
Yeah.
But
I saw King Diamond when he did the Abigail tour, and that was amazing.
yeah, I saw that. Well, yeah, well, we both went to that one.
Yes, we were both at that show. Yeah,
Yeah, that one we were both at that show,
that
and
show was
then
really good.
yeah, and then the second time that I saw him, it was King Diamond at the King's Theater in Brooklyn, which is
That's
it's
funny.
like yeah, it's this like vaudevillian like classic theater that I don't know
Yeah,
what they, I don't know if it was always like that and they like gutted some like sections of it and they renovated it or whatever, or like if they just built it that way. But it's this really cool, classy looking place that like is like right out of The Shining or something.
that's
And like
hilarious.
they like the assistants, though, like the people who work there, they're like wearing like the bellhop uniforms. So like it's like the old school kind of theater.
Yeah.
Um, you could buy like the concessions and stuff, and they have like all the old like seats still in there,
Hmm.
and they like got rid of like maybe the first 20 rows, I guess, so that you could like that was then that's where like the GA is, and then like the seating like are in the seats, but it's like inclined so you can see everything. It's
Yeah.
really really cool, and like just it made like it's the show. It's a perfect theater for King Diamond stuff.
Yeah.
So it was really neat. The funny thing about that venue is just it's in the most non-metal area. Like you would never
Yeah.
see like a metal person like you wouldn't catch them dead in there. It's
Yeah.
in like Flatbush, Brooklyn, which is it's like it's like a predominantly like Jamaican and Haitian area.
Right.
So like you would like it's just like like me and my friend Gianni, he like we went to the show and like we went to go get halal or something like that before the show. So like we're sitting down, we're eating our gyros, and then like and we're just overhearing people, like you just hear somebody passing by like, why are all these white people up the street? And we're just like, oh, there's a metal show, and they're like, you going to that? You like that shit? And it's like, yeah, we do. We're gonna be there. It's like you boys are crazy. It's like, all right, have a
Yeah.
good night.
I it's interesting because now like all these friggin' venues are like basically closed, and this is like even before COVID, it was on a downward trend, like because you had like AEG and the Bowery Presents buying up all these venues in Manhattan, and like first of all, they're like jacking up the prices of the tickets. Like, it's like you want to buy a ticket to a show, like a metal show, and you're spending like $60 for a GA for like a band that, a couple years ago would cost you $30 for GA or $20. And so like that was like really killing the scene.
Well, there's
And
that, and then there's merch itself, where like the venue
oh
has to
yeah.
take its cut. So like the venue
Hmm.
like would like let's just say for the sake of the argument, a T-shirt would normally be $25.
Hmm.
Well, the venue needs to make like $10 or $15 or whatever. So now
Hmm.
suddenly the shirt is $40 to cover the
Right.
venue.
Well, I think that coupled with coronavirus is kind of like gonna like kill the New York metal scene a little bit. Like I feel like even when shows
Well,
start
the
up
local
again,
band scene has been dead for some time, but like
well, yeah,
for
but it's gonna even
for the
kill.
regular venues, yeah, you're not gonna have
Right,
a lot of
you're
places to
only
play.
you'll only see like really major bands come through, and they're only gonna play like the PlayStation Theater, and that's it. They won't play any other venues,
It's pretty much only
and
going to be like
or
like
New
whatever,
Jersey.
yeah, like whatever Live Nation owns, because they pretty much have like a monopoly on that, with the exception of like
Yes,
Madison Square Garden and Barclay Center.
yeah. Which there you're only gonna see like Metallica,
Yeah,
or you'll have them go to Jersey instead. They'll play Prudential Center or something like that instead.
yeah,
Uh, so it kind of sucks because that's like we grew up going to those all shows at all those places. Like these shows were like you're right up against the stage and like you're getting hit with sweat from like Dave Mustaine and stuff. And that's like
yeah,
a dead thing now. There's
yeah.
not really going to be it.
I feel like Saint Vitus will stay. But like it's such a pain in the butt to get to.
Yeah.
But like I
Even
feel
then, like
there's not even going to be a whole lot of bands there's not even going to be like a whole lot of venues that are really going to like be around.
no, well, and really only the biggest bands are gonna like be able to go back on tour again, like as stuff keeps reopening. Like you're not gonna see a lot of the smaller bands on tour for at least a good while, if ever, because
Yeah.
it's
Well,
just
you'll see them at some
it's
point, but
too hard.
it's going to be like a really long. It's going to be like a good couple of years after things have reopened. I mean, you'll see a
Right.
couple that you'll see a few here and there that'll try to like do it, but it's just going to like I would be I mean good for them, and I hope that and I wish them well when they do it, but like they're like they were barely like if they were lucky they were breaking even before. Now I don't like I think it's just going to be such a red zone that like it's not even going to be worth it. Like
Yeah.
like when COVID like I saw a meme like in the beginning of the year where like it was like it was like it was just like a musician's like just calculating finance, and they're like, so by not playing any shows last year, I actually saved $200.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah. It's sad but true. Especially now with like the way gas prices are going up, it's like to be a touring band, if unless you're like on a major label and you have a friggin' the support of a major label, you will not make money on tour. Period. It's
Yeah,
just impossible. Like you're paying $75 to fill up your tank in your van. That's like pretty much probably all the money that you made the night before at the show you were just at.
if you're
Just
lucky, you
played.
made that.
If you're lucky, it's so that's really going to kill live music for a long while.
Yeah,
Hopefully, from the ashes, a lot of the times from the ashes of something rises something better. So we'll see. Maybe we'll get a better music industry out of COVID. After COVID, the ashes of what's left.
I hope so. Speaking of sad but true, so when I saw Beatallica at BB King's, they were a
Mhm.
lot of fun, and everybody was really getting into it because it wasn't hard. It was like because it was a combo of like one, it was a tribute show, but like the songs were like they were different, but they were familiar at the same time, and everybody
Mhm.
really really loved them, and they got over really well with everybody.
Yeah.
And we met them after. I think James Lenfield and Cliff Big Burtney signed my metal vest with like all the patches and stuff.
Nice.
Yeah, I still have that vest. I haven't
So I
washed
have
it to
mine
this
too.
day, which is gross. But like,
I've never watched it either.
I've thought about getting it dry cleaned, but like, I don't know. There's
I've
something.
Febrezed it. I've like Febrezed it and
I
like
mean, it
let it
doesn't
sit
have
in like
it,
outside.
it doesn't have a smell. It's just
No.
like it's just it's just you could see all like the gross sweat stains from all the years
Yeah. Well,
just on the collar.
you're not supposed to wash it. It's supposed to be like
It's a relic. It's an
Right.
artifact. It's a legendary. It's a legendary artifact. And
Well,
that's
it's like
that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
it's like a trophy. It's like every show you go to, you buy a patch,
Yeah,
or you get it signed by someone, and like it's like just a memory. It's a trophy.
yeah. I mean, sometimes you put the you keep your tickets in there in like the
Mm-hmm.
inside pocket if you can, if you don't have a place in the house for it. I don't
Yeah.
have every ticket to every show I've ever been to
I don't either. I
anymore.
have a lot of them, but I don't have all of them.
I once had all of them, but now I think I was just going through stuff, and I had so many that I was like, like, you know what? Let me just keep the best ones.
I got like a little binder, like a little binder with like picture like plastic sleeves or whatever. So I just stuck them all in there.
I should
You
have
know,
done that.
because then it's like out of the way. I could put it on a bookshelf, and I still have them if I want to look at it and remember.
Yeah,
Oh, I remember this. There's shows I look at it, and I'm like, oh, I can't believe I forgot I was at that show.
yeah.
Like
I keep
like completely
I keep
forgot.
mine in a tin.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
have like a watch tin that I keep them in.
I used to when I in my old room at my when I lived with my parents still. I used to hang them on the wall
Yeah.
in my room. But so then they started like get ripped up and stuff like that because they were like right by like where I slept like on my bed, so like I would like roll into them like in the night and
Well,
like get them all ripped up. So that was a bad idea, but
yeah. Well, it's lessons for William later on.
yeah. Well, I mean, by the time he's going to shows, they probably won't even have
That's
paper
true.
tickets anymore.
It'll probably only be QR codes.
Yeah, you're just gonna scan your friggin' RF chip that's implanted in your COVID vaccine.
Yeah, well, that's at least that's one of the conspiracies going around. My dad was like partially into that for like a minute.
Oh my God.
My dad was like he was like, oh, what if they microchip you or like this guy who lives in my apartment, the mayor.
Yeah,
He like he's like, yeah, man, they're gonna DNA chip you. I ain't getting that vaccine. I'm like, all right, cool, dude.